This is Vikcast. It's a Viking thing.
Rosslager.
Shield wall!
All of my life, and all of your lives, have come to this point. There is nowhere else to be but here.
No, I always knew I would love these Northmen.
This is Vikcast with Clive Standen and Amy Bailey.
Hi, I'm Amy Bailey. I played Queen Quenthrith on Vikings, the crazy queen. You know, one of the questions I get asked most often is, how similar am I to my character? And I am proud to say, not at all, because she was a nutzoid, but super, super fun to play.
This is Vikcast.
Hi, I'm Clive Standen. You might know me as Rollo. I get to have an amazing job where I get to dress up and be a Viking. And I'm going to take you into the process of 7 years of filming, 7 years of my life dressing up as Rollo, the brother of Ragnar Lothbrok, and what it was like to be on set on the show Vikings.
This is Vikcast. There's a Viking in the house.
And as the King of Wessex and King of Bretwalda, all of England, I order you to listen to Vikcast. It's a Viking thing.
The podcast direct from Valhalla.
Cold is the ocean spray, and Vikcast is on its way.
No Vikings were harmed in the making of this podcast.
This is Vikcast. It's a Viking thing.
Hi everyone, I'm George Blagden and I play Athol Stan on Vikings, and you should tune into this incredible podcast, Vikcast. It's a Viking thing.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome to Vikcast, where it's a Viking thing. This is Amy Bailey. What's up there?
This is Clive Standen.
The Clive Standen, aka Rollo. What's going on, Rollo?
I was so excited to finally get this Vikecast off the ground. It's been like months in the making now, hasn't it?
Yeah. When did you first you reached out? Well, we started talking about it sort of end of last summer, wasn't it?
Yeah, just at the just as lockdown had started and this coronavirus had set in, you know, I was twiddling my thumbs at home. We couldn't get any acting work. Everything was closed down. And I thought, Vikings coming to an end. You know, the last season was on Amazon. And I thought, well, why don't we get us all back together? Now the characters are all, you know, said and done and the series is done. It'd be nice to have one last hurrah, getting all of our Viking castmates together so the fans can hear the real stories and the behind the scenes.
Do you remember, it was your idea? It was great, actually. We sent this really cheesy plea video to all of our friends on the show, pretty much saying like, come on, guys, we miss you. Come get on our show. We sent all these emails, like tons of emails to all of our buddies in the cast and production. And it was so heartwarming because we had, you know, my inbox was like just full of all these beautiful messages back. And everybody's like, yeah, what a great idea.
And on Vikecast, guys, this is your show as well as ours. So we have found out that we have lots of celebrity Vikings fans out there. We found out that Pink is a massive fan of the show and a massive fan of Lagertha. We heard that the Foo Fighters themselves like the Viking show. We've managed to track down a few fans. One
thing that was really important to Clive and me, because we felt so lucky to be a part of this awesome show, and the fandom is absolutely mind-blowingly cool. Like, just everybody's so inclusive and warm and enthusiastic, and we're so humbled and honored to be a part of it. So we are really searching for ways to get you guys, the viewers, the fans of the show, involved as well. So in our recordings, we're going to be calling you guys up. We're going to be surprising you. We might be showing up at people's weddings, their proposals, their divorces. You tell us what you want.
Whatever you want. Bar mitzvahs, Christmases, Hanukkahs, birthdays, we are here. Vikcast is at your disposal. You can hire a Viking. We are here to make your dreams come true. You can have a Viking turn up at your divorce settlement. You can turn a Viking turn up at your wedding. Whatever it be, we're here for you.
This is Vikcast. It's a Viking thing. There's a Viking in the house.
Hello, everybody, Viking fans. This is Vikcast. It's a Viking thing. You're listening to Amy Bailey and Clive Standen. And after all the emails, Clive, after all of the excitement and the work and the blood, sweat, and tears, and our amazing production team has been helping us, we have got our first cast member. It is the one, the only, the gorgeous George Blagden, a.k.a. Athol Stan.
He is the perfect guest to have on our very first episode of Vikcast because Athelstan is our eyes and ears into the Viking culture. He was the first to be cast in the show. He is the person who was around, who brought us into Ragnar and to Rollo and the people that live and breathe in Kattegat. And we have him today giving us all of the inside scoop on his experience on the show. Hey, how you doing, bud?
Hi, I'm very good, thanks. I'm very, very good. First time I've had headphones on for quite a while.
It's been quite a while since we've been able to see you as well. I mean, it's how many years has it been since Vikings started? It's 7 years now, I think, since our first few days on set.
I know. Yeah, don't. I got terrified yesterday. Someone said to me yesterday that we started filming season 1 9 years ago.
What?
9 years ago. I think it was in May.
Filming. It didn't come out for 7 years, but 9 years ago since we probably started.
9 years ago. Was it 9? Yeah, 2012, summer of, which is just insane. I've not seen both of you for years, which is largely my fault. And the show as well. I left, spoiler alert, I left the show in 2014.
Beep.
Yeah.
We'll mute this part.
Mute this part. It's crazy. And I've been so amazed at how kind of it's become more and more popular as the years have gone on. I mean, you guys both haven't worked on it now for a couple of years as well, right? I mean, It's been a few years since you both left, and it feels like the last couple of years, and particularly the last year as well, lots of people have found it in lockdown or found it in the last year. Mm-hmm. That's really lovely and really, really nice that it continually seems to find new audience members. Not something that happened 6-7 years ago. It still feels like it's happening now.
Are you trying to say that we're all still relevant, George?
I'm clinging on to relevance from 9 years ago is what I'm saying. It's lovely, isn't it? It's rare, I guess, that you get to be part of something as an actor where that happens. I'm sure, for a lot of other projects that you've done, you've kind of gone in, done it, and it's had, a life. And then you're kind of like the way that we are mercenaries, you move on to your next job and that has a life and you meet a new family that are watching that show and Vikings has just grown and grown and grown and grown and never disappeared. It's lovely. It's amazing.
Let's go right back to the beginning though, because my process for getting cast is I was auditioning for Rollo and Ragnar and there was loads of Vikings, getting cast through this. But there was one thing that when you get your first round out of the way and you kind of start getting interested in this show Vikings and you Google it, you IMDb it and you find it. And there was one name that was attached to Vikings from the very, very beginning. And that was you, George Blagden, cast, boom, before any Vikings were cast. And it's because your character is the eyes inwards to this Viking culture. It was very, very important they found the right guy to play Athelstan. So can you talk us through your casting process and how you auditioned and how you met Michael and at the very beginning, how it all started for you?
It's fairly undramatic, I'll be honest. I auditioned in London, would you believe, in a church. Bizarre. It's like an underground church just off Bedfield Square, right near to Tottenham Court Road. And underground, underneath a hotel, I think in the basement of one of the hotels there's like an underground chapel. And Frank Moiselle, the casting director, had come over to London to do some tapings with some young British actors. And that's where he was meeting them and taping. It was just that audition. I did that one audition and a couple of weeks later, they were like, you have the role of Athelstan. And I hear what you say now about how Athelstan is the eyes into this world, but I don't think Michael had intended that to be the case. Only because he told me. He intended Athelstan to sort of be a 4 or 5 episode arc, is how he says it to me. I mean, maybe he's being very sort of Michael and trying to Hollywood it up.
He also told me that Rollo was going to die in episode 2 because I didn't know he was the Duke of Normandy.
This is the beauty of television, is that, it's an ongoing thing. You're not creating a 2-hour film. You can change. You're having started shooting something, you can change your ideas. So I think it was only having seen the first couple of episodes that Johan directed that I think Michael and the other producers on board thought, this character's actually, we can really use this character in an effective way to teach the audience about this world and these characters. And I'm sure that casting wasn't, we need to get this character absolutely right. It was probably just, who's willing to have their head shaved?
I was going to say, what did you think as an actor? Because first of all, I remember, when this show started, vampires were the thing, right? Like nobody cared about Vikings. Nobody wanted Vikings. No one had ever seen Vikings on TV. Yeah. So all of us going into it were a bit like, what? And when History Channel? Like, what's going on? So you get this audition for Vikings, but then you're not even a Viking in it. You're a monk with a bald spot on the top of your head. So how much faith did you have? Athol Stan is a much beloved character. It's so complex. It's favorite. How did you have an inkling of what Athol Stan would become? Or were you just going, I've never been a monk before. Why not?
I honestly didn't. It was all so overwhelming, and you forget as well in the midst. I was 22 at the time, and less than a year out of drama school, and you're just kind of, you don't want to admit it, but you are just treading water. Like you're desperately trying to like, okay, cool, I've booked this job, and you're terrified of just being terrible. So you're just like, let's just not be terrible. Let's get on set and say the words in the right order, and then we'll think about what comes next. And yeah, I again, as well as with television, you don't get to see the whole story. I think I was only given episodes 1 and 2, even by the time we started shooting. So, and I don't come in until halfway through ep 2. So I knew nothing. It was just like, he's a priest that Ragnar captures. That was pretty much it.
But you did a bit of research, right? You went to Lindisfarne when you found out.
Yes. Yeah.
Tell us about that, because I remember that was an amazing story. You went on your own and you kind of looked around all the ruins of Lindisfarne. So
yeah, it was so amazing. Like I think probably one of the only times where I've done something like that for work, and it genuinely have been extremely beneficial. Often you try and do something like that in terms of research, and you kind of think, well, I can maybe use 10% of this experience, or you read books on characters or worlds and you think, some of this is applicable. But going to Lindisfarne was so incredible because I didn't realise how far out to sea it was. It's quite a way. And whilst I was there, I managed to see the tide come in and go back out. I remember when I arrived, people said before there was cars or horses and cart, the monks at that time would walk out to the island. Often they would die because the tide comes in and out so quickly. And I was kind of like, yeah, whatever, I'm going to walk back and I'll show them. Like within 2 minutes, and it was probably a couple of kilometres from the shore along this kind of, road that's built on a sand dune. It's amazing. But within literally 2 or 3 minutes, the sea had just gone, boom, covered it. So you can't get access to the island even in a car for part of the day. And that was just, I was like, wow, okay, that really was a very remote place. You can only get access to it at certain times of the day, and when you did have access, especially in those times, you literally have to sort of fast walk sprint back to shore or over to the island. So yeah, that was amazing. I then got on set, of course, and as one of my first screen jobs, I think it was maybe the second week, and Michael was on set, and no, it was towards the end of that first block we shot all of the Lindisfarne stuff, and we got on the set of Lindisfarne, and I remember 22-year-old me, Michael, it doesn't look like Lindisfarne. It doesn't look anything like Lindisfarne. And he just looked at me like, who the hell have I hired? Does he know that this is fiction? But so amazing. And yeah, it really was helpful for that first sequence. It was really kind of, terror was the thing that I had to play.
Yeah, I've actually I found the original section from the Anglo-Saxon Chronicle. Sounds like a newspaper. The Anglo-Saxon Chronicle. Read all about it. Where they were talking about this is what Michael used as the inspiration for setting that scene when we first see you. I'm just going to read what it actually says with my old man glasses. So here we go. This is the original section from the Anglo-Saxon Chronicle, which is the inspiration for the first time we see the monks in Lindisfarne. In this year, dire forewarnings came over the land of Northumbrians and miserably terrified the people. There were excessive whirlwinds and lightning, and fiery dragons were flying in the air. A great famine soon followed these tokens, and a little after that, in the same year, as the 6th of the Ides of January, the havoc of the heathen men miserably destroyed God's churches at Lindisfarne through rapine and slaughter. And that's when we first see you. We see all of the monks kind of cowering in the electrical storm, and then you look out and you see the dragon in the clouds, and it forms. And that was all inspired by this original piece that Michael read.
No way! Wow. I mean, that literally should have been the log line for season 1.
And then, the dragon boat comes out of the mist as well. And it's like it was all part of their prophecy. So they must have been absolutely terrified that it's all, Armageddon was coming true.
Yeah, it would have